Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. Okay, so today I will be doing a kind of recommendation video. This was requested by a viewer. I have a viewer recommendation form down below. It's always there. If you have video ideas or oddly specific recommendations, that's a great place to put them. But this one was also voted on by my channel members. If you don't know for some reason, I have both channel memberships and Patreon. Channel membership gets you more of like early access, as well as I do a monthly chat with certain levels. You get early access to my videos and you get to vote on video topics, which is fun. And then Patreon is more of behind the scenes content, extra content, things like that. And once a month, my channel members get a vote on a video topic that they want to sponsor. And for this month, it was favorite micro-tropes and small gestures. So I've mixed these kind of together. I believe I have, let me just count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 14 ones on here. I'm sure I could have come up with many more, but these were all ones that I really like these. I'm sure there's more that I know of, but these were ones I actually did an Instagram post with some of these, and I just expanded it, and I'm going to share it with you guys. Now, because these are very specific niche things, as well as good luck trying to think of a super specific grand gesture or thing like that when you are trying to, okay? That's why some of these take a really long time for me to put together, because I wanted to do kind of like what I did with my mega kink recommendation video, where I gave like 3 or 4 recs for each one, and that wasn't going to happen with this one. I just couldn't think of any. So I have at minimum 1, at maximum 3 for some of these. I think there's only one that I did 3, because the point is, I'm more explaining what the micro-trope is that I love and less about giving the recommendations for it, because this is more one of those things that when it shows up in a book, I get really excited about it. But it's one that it's very tough to search for said thing, even more so than an oddly specific rec, okay? So these are more things that when I hear they show up in a book, it makes me excited to read the book, or when I stumble across it on my own, I'm like, oh my God, I love this so much. These really aren't ones you can search for. Believe me, when I'm making my lists, I always go to Reddit, I look at Goodreads lists to try to find, and very few of these was I able to do that with. So just understand that when I'm giving you a single recommendation, it's not that there's only one I've never read, but they're ones that like I can't search for them. So I can only tell you what my memory can recall, and I can't promise to recall certain things. I just can't. My brain can only do so much. She is a clever trap, but there's only so much that gets caught in there. But anyway, enough of that. We're going to go through these. Like I said, I do have recommendations, but I only have 1 to 3 for most of these. Most of these just 1. But you in the comments, if you've just recently read one of these or you have a recommendation for it, please share it. I will have a pinned comment that you can comment on. Otherwise, you can start your own comment with ones, as well as you can tell me what your favorite micro-tropes and things are. So I'll do a tiny bit of explanation before, because I know some people won't know what I'm talking about. I always try to be very explanatory when I can. So, all right. The best way that I explain this, I believe that micro-trope is kind of like a colloquial term people have given with this, right? We know a trope. I have a channel full of tropes, right? Those are things that show up most often in books. You know, an age gap is what we would call a trope, or a best friend's brother is what we would call like a trope. Whereas like a genre is going to be romance, fantasy, sci-fi, like those would be genres. And then like within romance, there are subgenres, which would be fantasy romance, suspense romance, like because they're all within romance, right? So that's how that goes. Now, when we have a micro-trope, it's going to be little tropes that may show up often within certain things, but not enough that they are like a big category of it, right? And you'll see what I mean when we go through some of these. So these are things that whenever they show up, usually they're things that the hero does. I'm just being honest. Those are the things that get me most excited are when he does small things that just make me admire him even more. There's a few particular authors of mine that you'll see that do a lot of these, and it's why they're some of my favorite authors, because they continually put these little things within their stories that just make me feel very seen within them, because I'm like, this is my shit. So that's how I'm explaining that. And again, you'll see when we get into these that they can exist in any of the subgenres, in any of the tropes within those. And that's why I just call them micro-tropes, or small gestures is what I put them in. Because again, they're usually things that the hero is doing or that they do together. There's a couple of these that they do together. So, all right. Where I want to start at the top of this one is, sorry, I have all my books mixed together over here. So let me get them situated so I can start pulling them out here. So this first one I have is when a hero reads romance novels, whether it is like ironically at first or just because they enjoy them themselves. And what even turned out even crazier is that the books that I picked for this are even more specific than the hero reads romance novels. They are, the hero is in a romance book club. And so the first book that I had down for this was Hooked on You by Nikki Ash, which I absolutely adore this book. This is a part of her Love and Whiskey series. Now, I'm not going to talk too in depth about all these books because we'll be here forever. As I said, I have a whole bunch. But this one is a single mom and a single dad. It's also, he's a billionaire. He has a little girl. She is a single mom who's on the run, and she has a little girl, and she ends up being a live-in nanny for him. So their daughters are growing up, are being raised together, and she is a live-in nanny for them. And he's actually a part of a romance book club with, I think, one of his friends' wives, or however he got into it, or maybe it's like a mom's group and he's in it. And I just think that's so cute. I love it. And there are parts in this where he's like reading the book to her. Now, another like whole series that this is what this is about. This series hasn't been talked about much in recent years, but it was like when I was first getting into like booktube, particularly romance booktube, this series was like the shit that everyone was into. And that is the Bromance Book Club series. So there's like Bromance Book Club, Isn't It Bromantic? And this was a series of the guys are in this romance book club to learn how to romance women better. And particularly the first one in it is, it's this marriage in trouble. It's a baseball player. Him and his wife are going through a lot of struggles. He has not been taking care of her well in the bedroom for years. She's got really complacent with it, and they just aren't connecting anymore. And so he kind of is like begging her to give him another chance, and he wants to get better at what he does. And so he actually starts reading romance novels to learn how to woo her. And so throughout the series, there'll always be like a romance novel that the guys are reading, and we have little clips of those, and then the romance that he's trying to do. So this was a fun series. I think I ended up reading like 3 out of the 5. I liked the first one quite a bit, but it is a traditionally published series, and it didn't perfectly hold up for me as it went. Now, as for heroes reading romance, there are a ton of these ones. Like I said, I'm not going into a full thing on this, though this is maybe one of those that I could do more. But again, this is like impossible to search because I know I'd read more than this, but it's just impossible to search it because anytime I tried to look it up, I wasn't getting it. But anyway. So the next one I have on here is secret tattoos. Either he's gotten a secret tattoo for her, or they both have tattoos, like they got them together, but it was a secret. So the first one I want to share, this one will actually show up in this list again because I just read it, which therefore, as you'll see with these small gestures, if I've just read the book, it's easier for me to remember the micro-tropes. For next year, I actually do plan on my big spreadsheet that I made, which I track the genre, the page number, the narrators for it, the character names. Like I track all that stuff so that when I do these, I'm able to look it up, because with hundreds of books that I've read, I have to track it somehow, or I can't remember for you guys. I do want to start tracking micro-tropes so that I eventually will be able to do like oddly specific lists with these. But anyway, but I just read this one, which was From Air by Julianne. And in this one, they actually are on like they have a secret relationship, and they go on like a trip together to a friend's parents' anniversary party, and they get drunk while they're on this trip, and they both get tattoos. And it's actually how their friends discover that they are dating each other secretly, because they both have the same tattoo. And at different times, their friends see these tattoos. So that one was really cute. There's also one that I think is so adorable, and that is in Funny Feelings. And it's a tiny bit of the spoiler for this book, but this is a mutual pining romance. It's a single dad. It's a female comedian and like her manager. So cute. I really enjoyed this. This was my first Tara DeWitt. I read it ages ago. And in this one, the hero has a secret tattoo for her that is actually an umbrella. That's significant to this couple, and it's so cute. And when she discovers this tattoo of his, you know, it could only mean one thing, because like umbrellas are their thing. And it is just a very touching moment. It's super, super cute. I like little love notes and text messages. Now, these I mean ones that you don't necessarily have to like answer them. So not them just like texting each other, but like little peppy notes that you get sent. And one of the ones that came to mind for me is one that is one of my favorites of the year. And again, I know there's so many more of these that they do. But there is this one in Wild Eyes where, I just love this book, but Skylar is staying in Rose Hill. And at one point in the story, West, just say his name. Yeah, it's West. Sorry. Lots of hero names in my head. He has like taken her phone away so that she will stop looking at the tabloids and everything. And in replacement, he will send her these like emails with fake headlines that he makes up. That's called like breaking news or whatever, to again kind of like make her smile. So some of them start out as really like silly ones where he's like, breaking news, hometown cowboy is very sorry for what he did. And here's one, breaking news, Weston Belmont eats entire lasagna and ruins his metabolism, and sources say it's all Skylar's fault. So like, I just thought that's so cute. He's sending her those as also like a sweet message, but also to like make her laugh, because she's just a very stressed out person in these. So again, I know there's more of those, but that's just where we're going through with these. Okay, next up is one that I probably have some of the most recommendations for this one, because I am absolutely obsessed with it, and I'm always looking for where it happens. And I've talked about this one before. It's when there's hair braiding or doing the girl's hair. I love when this happens. It just turns me into goo. So one where it happens that this is actually a pretty like, this is a dark fantasy romance, and it's in Lifeblood. And there's a point where the hero, like, she's being kept captive. She's a witch. She's kind of a little bit being abused by the hero in this. But it's when he's really starting to soften to her. They're actually fated mates. So even though he's trying to be really cruel to her, because that's what he's supposed to do, he can't help it. And there's this time where like he bathes her, and then like afterwards he like braids her hair and like does her hair. And he's this serious, scary like warlock character. And he's like braiding her hair and acting all like tough while he does it, and it's so cute. I love it so much. I love it so much. Then there is in Sovereign by Rhea Morris Edwards. This one, he's braiding her hair kind of for like a BDSM scenario. This is a heavily BSM focused romance, but I'm here for it. I don't care. And there's a scene like to prepare her for a scene, he like braids her hair, right? That happens in 50 Shades of Grey too. You want to keep the hair out of the way when you're going to be using certain implements. And so he definitely knows how to do that. So there's a really hot scene where he braids her hair before they have a scene together, and I love it. And then the final one I'll share for this, which again, I have lots of hair braiding recs because I do keep an eye out for that. Of course, I can't remember any of them right now, but one that recently really caught my eye is from another one of my favorites. Two of these books I just mentioned are in my favorites of the year. So as you can tell, when those little gestures show up, they start to stack up for me. And that's in the Details. And this one is adorable because he does our heroine's little girl's hair. Well, he does his own daughter's hair. He does the heroine's little girl's hair. And then he does her hair. Because he's like, Mommy, you need your hair done too. And he does all three of his girls' hair. And it's so precious, you guys. Like, him doing all their hair, I just loved it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, next up there is Hero with Glasses. So I just have a thing for this. I love this. It's right on the cover of this one. Caught up, love it. This one is a baseball romance and his nanny. Love it to death. So, so good. This is also in King of Pride, which I forgot to grab off my shelf, but Kai has glasses. And then one that I just read last night, so again, that's why I remembered it, was Forever the Highlands by Samantha Young. This hero wears his glasses a lot. He is an IT and like security guy. So he switches between his contacts and his glasses a lot, so we get to see his glasses, which is super hot. Okay, then we have His Pet Loves Her Before He Does. And this shows up a ton as well, but the one that really sticks out to me right now is actually Bourbon and Lies by Victoria Wilder, because our hero is very resistant to the heroine in this one, but the hero's dog, Julep, she loves the heroine kind of right away, and we just know that she's good people, because if the retired police dog knows that this woman is good people, she's good people, and we're here for it. Okay, this one is He Steals Her Panties, or He Keeps Her Panties. So I have two very different scenarios for this one. So first off, I have Heartless, because who can forget the meet cute of this book where Willa's panties have fallen out of her purse because she doesn't wear panties, but she keeps a spare pair in case, you know, she gets her period or whatever and you need it. And Cade, being the gentleman he is, reaches down to pick up what fell out of her purse and realizes it's her panties. And it is a fantastic meet cute. I love it so much. And she says to him, finders keepers, and like walks away and leaves him holding her panties. And they do show up later on. So I like this one because he accidentally took her panties, but he also can't throw them away because they show up later on, and it's super hot when they do. Love it. And then there is actually Poison by Jade West, and there's actually seriously a panty kink in this book. Like, he likes to come on them. He likes to then put him in her mouth. He puts them in his mouth. Like, panties are a whole thing in this book. So, like, even the chapter covers have panties on them. So, and funny note, this is actually on the cover of this is the heroine's boyfriend. Well, I mean, Jade West's boyfriend is this guy, which I love that. That's great. Okay, the fuck it moment. So I just did a post on my Instagram about this one, and this is one that I feel like shows up in a lot of romance, but I just picked a few of them to share. But again, it shows up in a lot. So one of them is All Too Well by Corinne Michaels. I love this moment. It's super hot. This is a brother's best friend. They were neighbors when they were young. He's now a firefighter and a single dad. She is a journalist who is back in the small town and has to write a article on him. Really cute. Then there is one in King of Sloth. This is an office romance. This is his like publicist, and so it's a forbidden like office romance type thing, but super, super sexy between the two of these guys. Love this one. Okay, then we have another one out, but I forgot to grab it. This one is for period care. Now, I do have a full video of this one, but this is something I love whenever it happens, whenever there's like menstrual support. I love to see it. So one of my favorite ones for this is actually in Last Light by Claire Kent, because wouldn't we all just be shit out of luck if we were in the apocalypse and eventually like tampons and pads run out one day? Like, the horror of it, right? But anyway, so in this case though, a lot of women haven't been having their periods because like fertility as well as survival isn't doing too hot when you have like a, not a nuclear thing, but a worldwide disaster where things aren't good. But in this book, once our heroine is now traveling with, so this is Travis and Lainey, and once Lainey is traveling with Travis and she's eating better more regularly because they are working together for that, she gets her period back. Now the funny part / horrifying part for poor Travis is that he had taken her virginity like I think a couple days before, and then during one night, like in the dark, they have really like hot, rough sex, and she loves it. Like, she really loves it. It's great. But the next morning she wakes up and like her stomach hurts, and he's getting out of bed and he's like, oh my God, what did I do to you? Because she had like explosive period returned basically. So the poor man is like, why didn't you tell me I was fucking you too hard? And she's like, no, honey, I got my period for the first time in a couple years. And he's like, oh, and it's not because he's naive or anything. This man used to have a wife and a child, like he knows what those are, but to have it come back so like literally like violently like that, and between her legs after they had rough sex, like the poor guy thinks that he massacred her. But anyway, then, though, he's able to find some candy still in the apocalypse, right? And they take a day of rest and cuddle her and everything, and it's just really sweet. We love to see it. And another one I love, which, like I said, I didn't grab it, but one of my favorite books of all time is Carnal Urges, and there's super hot period care in this one, okay? Like, ugh. Daddy Declan knows how to take care of his lady. We'll just say that. We will just say that. It's fantastic. Okay, something else I really love, and I think a lot of us do, and this is one that it was actually pissing me off because I know that I've read a bunch of these. I know that I have, but my mind could not think of anything. And again, it is very hard to search for this term, which I'll tell you in a minute, because when you search it, what often comes up is like real people with this, which it's not like it's a vulgar term or anything, but it's impossible to find the romance novels with it. And that is the gray sweatpants, right? We all know what this means, okay? When the guy is wearing their gray sweatpants and you can see a little outline of everything, it's hot. And the one that I read recently with this was From Air. Like I said, this was going to come back up. This is a roommate's situation too. So seeing him without a shirt and his gray sweatpants, low slung in the morning, it's sexy. It's hot. But again, I know I've read many more of these, but this isn't a term that you can search. If you try to search romances with gray sweatpants, you're just going to get a whole bunch of thirst traps with men wearing gray sweatpants, which again, it's not the most vulgar thing that your Google is going to pull up, but it also doesn't help me with romance. Okay, then there is, he keeps a small memento for years, or for a certain time, because this first one I'll share, it's not for many, many years that he keeps it, but it's still very cute, and it's something that many people still squee over all these years later, and that is Dreaming of You. And Derek Craven steals Sarah's extra pair of glasses and keeps them in his pocket, and when he thinks she is like gone for good, he like holds her glasses and he like thinks of her, and it's very romantic, and we swoon. We love it. We love it. We love it. And then another one is Wild Love. There's actually a key on a chain that Ford keeps for a very long time. And we know that he's a piner. Okay, the man is a piner. We know it for sure. So, very excited to reread this one, by the way, because it's been so long. I'm rereading both Wild Eyes and Wild Love this year. It's going to be good. I'm excited about it. Okay, we have He Teaches Her Something. I just love that whenever there's the like showing someone to do something. Maybe it's riding a horse or shooting a gun. That happens a lot. That's actually a good one. I should have thought of another one of those. But the one that came to mind recently was from Braving the Storm. And there's a really hot scene in here when Uncle Storm is teaching Briar how to drive a stick shift. If you know, you know. Super hot. This is precious, okay? I love this one, you guys. This is when he carries her kid inside when the kid is sleeping. This is so romantic. I love this one. And I was thinking specifically for this one of On the Wild Side. This one is adorable. And this one, I believe what's going on is Brady actually like takes her little girl to like a daddy-daughter dance just because she doesn't have a dad. It's a single mom. And he takes her to it, and it's so cute. And when they get home, she's like falling asleep in his truck, and so he carries her in. And it's actually cute because there's then like a snowstorm kind of happening, and so he has to spend the night on the couch, and it's super hot. But when he carries the little girl inside, it's so cute. It was so cute. All right, and then the last one, and you know I had to have a real good dirty one for y'all, so click out now if you don't want one of the sexy ones. This one shows up a lot, but I just grabbed 2 recommendations for it, okay? This one is when he pushes his you-know-what stuff back in at the end. And he's like, that's where it's supposed to stay. It's in there, okay? You know, okay? And I just read this one in Keep Me by Sarah Kate, which just came out the other day. Loved this one. This was a Marriage of Convenience, Enemies to Lovers, Scottish Highlands. It was all there. It was all there. It was great. Loved it. So good. And it also happens in Run, Posey, Run by Kate C. Wells. Love it. So good. Definitely check this book out. This book has so many great things in it, for sure. So, there you go. See, I was still able to talk for half an hour about this. Those were 14 different micro-tropes and small gestures that I love. And you can tell because a lot of these books I just shared are ones that have been 5- and 6-star reads for me in the past. And again, they don't alone make a book a 6-star, but they do add to the overall like tipping point of the story for me when those things are in there. So there you go. Again, if you have recommendations for any of these, please put them down below. We would all love to know them. Or if you have micro-tropes that you love and a recommendation to share, please do. So thank you so much for watching, my friends. I was so happy to make this video for you. If you would like to be a channel member and help to get a vote on topics, please check out my channel memberships or check out my Patreon if you'd like behind the scenes info and all that goodness. So thanks so much for watching, friends, and we'll see you next time. Bye.